Mercury, named after the Roman messenger god, is the planet of communication, intellect, and reasoning. In astrology, Mercury represents the mind, how we think, learn, and express ourselves. It governs language, ideas, information exchange, and the way we connect with others through words. Mercury's influence shapes how we perceive the world, process information, and articulate our thoughts, making it a critical player in the chart for understanding one's mental processes and communication style. As the ruler of Gemini and Virgo, Mercury is associated with versatility, adaptability, and analytical skills. In Gemini, Mercury's influence is quick, curious, and dynamic, emphasizing social interaction, multitasking, and the pursuit of knowledge. In Virgo, Mercury's energy becomes more focused on precision, detail, and practicality, highlighting the importance of order, efficiency, and critical thinking. These dual rulerships illustrate Mercury's flexibility and its ability to operate in different modes, from lighthearted conversation to serious, meticulous analysis. Mercury's placement in the natal chart reveals how a person communicates, learns, and processes information. Its sign, house placement, and aspects to other planets provide insight into the nature of one's thoughts, the style of expression, and the intellectual interests that drive them. Whether it's a sharp wit, a meticulous mind, or an inventive streak, Mercury's influence defines the way we connect with the world on an intellectual level. Mercury's position in the natal chart sign and communication style. The sign in which Mercury is placed in the natal chart defines the basic style of communication, thought processes, and intellectual approach. Each Mercury sign embodies a unique mode of expression, influencing how one interacts with the environment and conveys ideas. Mercury in Aries is quick, direct, and often impulsive in communication. There's a strong desire to speak first and think later, driven by an innate confidence in one's opinions. Aries Mercury loves a debate, often engaging in lively discussions where they can assert their viewpoints. This placement favors fast decision-making and a straightforward, sometimes blunt, manner of speech. While this boldness can be inspiring, it can also lead to misunderstandings or conflicts when the need to be heard overshadows the need to listen. When Mercury is in Taurus, the communication style is slower, deliberate, and more grounded. Taurus Mercury favors practical, tangible ideas and prefers to think things through carefully before speaking. This placement often produces a calm, steady voice with a preference for simple, clear communication. There's a strong focus on the senses and physical reality, making Taurus Mercury great at describing things in vivid, concrete terms. However, this methodical approach can sometimes come across as stubbornness or an unwillingness to change one's mind. Mercury in Gemini. One of its rulership signs is quick-witted, adaptable, and loves to engage in conversation. This placement excels at gathering information, multitasking, and connecting disparate ideas. Gemini Mercury is curious about everything, constantly seeking new knowledge and experiences to keep the mind stimulated. Communication is often light, clever, and filled with humor, but the downside can be a tendency to scatter one's focus or jump from topic to topic without depth. Mercury in Cancer brings an emotional, intuitive approach to communication. This placement often expresses thoughts through feelings, making them sensitive to the mood and needs of their audience. Cancer Mercury remembers everything, especially details tied to personal or emotional significance. and often speaks in a nurturing, empathetic way. There's a strong connection to the past, and stories or memories often play a big role in how they communicate. However, this emotional approach can sometimes lead to overly subjective thinking or difficulty in separating feelings from facts. When Mercury is in Leo, communication becomes dramatic, expressive, and infused with creativity. Leo Mercury speaks with authority, confidence, and a flair for the theatrical, often drawing others in with their enthusiasm and warmth. This placement loves to tell stories, captivate an audience, and use language in a way that highlights their unique perspective. However, the strong desire to be heard and admired can sometimes overshadow the importance of listening or considering other viewpoints. Mercury in Virgo, its other rulership, is precise, analytical, and detail-oriented. Virgo Mercury has a talent for organization, critical thinking, and problem-solving, often excelling in environments that require clear, logical communication. There's a focus on facts, accuracy, and practical applications, making this placement excellent for research, writing, and any work that demands attention to detail. The downside can be overthinking, perfectionism, or a tendency to critique both oneself and others too harshly. With Mercury in Libra, communication is balanced, diplomatic, and oriented toward harmony. Libra Mercury seeks to understand multiple perspectives, often playing the role of mediator in discussions. This placement values fairness, beauty in language, and the art of conversation, often using charm and tact to navigate social interactions. There's a strong focus on finding the right words to maintain peace and connection, but this can sometimes lead to indecision or a reluctance to take a firm stance. Mercury in Scorpio is intense, probing, and deeply investigative. Scorpio Mercury is driven by a desire to uncover hidden truths, explore mysteries, and communicate with a depth that goes beyond surface-level interactions. This placement excels at reading between the lines, picking up on subtext, and using language with precision and power. There's a focus on authenticity and emotional honesty, but the downside can be a tendency to be secretive, suspicious, or overly focused on control. When Mercury is in Sagittarius, communication becomes expansive, philosophical, and idealistic. Sagittarius Mercury loves big ideas, exploring new cultures, and engaging in conversations that broaden the mind. There's a natural optimism and a direct, sometimes blunt, approach to speaking. This placement favors honesty and seeks to inspire others through wisdom and storytelling, but can sometimes overlook details or become preachy in their enthusiasm for their beliefs. Mercury in Capricorn is practical, disciplined, and strategic in communication. Capricorn Mercury values clear, structured thinking, and often communicates with authority and a focus on achieving goals. This placement excels at planning, organizing, and conveying information in a concise, professional manner. There's a preference for traditional, tried and true methods of communication, but this can sometimes lead to a reserved or overly serious tone. Mercury in Aquarius is innovative, unconventional, and forward-thinking. Aquarius Mercury loves to think outside the box, often coming up with original ideas and communicating in a way that challenges the norm. This placement excels at seeing the big picture, connecting with groups, and engaging in conversations about social issues or technological advancements. There's a natural detachment that allows for objective thinking, but this can sometimes come across as aloofness or unpredictability. Mercury in Pisces brings a dreamy, imaginative, and intuitive style of communication. Pisces Mercury often speaks in metaphors, symbols, or artistic language, making them highly creative but sometimes hard to pin down. There's a strong emphasis on empathy and understanding, with an ability to tune into the emotions and energies around them. However, this fluid, open-ended way of thinking can lead to confusion, vagueness, or difficulty in focusing on practical matters. Mercury's house placement areas of mental focus. The house in which Mercury is placed in the natal chart indicates the area of life where the mind is most active, the style of learning, and where communication plays a significant role. This placement reveals where an individual seeks to gather information, express ideas, and connect with others on an intellectual level. Mercury in the first house suggests a lively, expressive personality with a strong need to communicate one's thoughts and opinions. This placement often brings a sharp mind, quick reflexes, and a youthful curiosity that drives one to explore and share ideas. There's a tendency to be talkative, observant, and eager to engage with the world, but also a need to watch for impulsive speech or a restless mind. The second house Mercury focuses on practical thinking, resource management, and values. This placement often brings a talent for handling finances, business negotiations, or any communication related to material security. Thoughts are often centered around building stability and finding practical solutions to everyday problems. There's a natural ability to articulate one's needs, though the mind may sometimes be overly concerned with financial or material matters. With Mercury in the third house, communication, learning, and social interaction are at the forefront. This is Mercury's natural house, enhancing the desire to connect, teach, learn, and engage in a variety of mental activities. There's often a talent for writing, speaking, or working in fields related to media, education, or technology. However, the challenge can be staying focused or avoiding superficiality in thinking. The fourth house Mercury is introspective, with a focus on home, family, and personal roots. This placement often brings a reflective, sensitive mind that's deeply connected to memories and the past. There's a natural inclination to communicate within the family, explore ancestral history, or engage in private, thoughtful activities. The downside can be overthinking about personal matters or difficulty in separating emotions from rational thought. Mercury in the fifth house emphasizes creativity, self-expression, and playful communication. This placement often brings a love for storytelling, artistic pursuits, and engaging in activities that allow the mind to be imaginative and free. There's a talent for entertaining others, whether through words, games, or creative projects. However, the challenge can be a tendency toward exaggeration or a need for constant validation in communication. A sixth house Mercury is analytical, detail-oriented, and focused on problem-solving. This placement excels in work environments that require precision, organization, and a methodical approach to tasks. There's often a strong interest in health, daily routines, and self-improvement, with communication skills that support efficiency and practicality. The downside can be overthinking, perfectionism, or a tendency to worry about minor details. Mercury in the 7th house emphasizes partnerships, negotiation, and one-on-one communication. This placement often brings a strong focus on dialogue, collaboration, and understanding others' perspectives. Mercury in the 7th house individuals excel in roles that require mediation, consulting, or working closely with others to achieve mutual goals. They are natural communicators in relationships, often thriving in intellectual partnerships where ideas can be exchanged and debated. This placement can bring a diplomatic and charming way of speaking, making them skilled at navigating social dynamics. However, there can be a tendency to overly rely on others' opinions, leading to indecision or a loss of personal voice in favor of maintaining harmony. Mercury in the 8th house delves into deep, complex subjects, often focused on transformation, intimacy, and shared resources. This placement gives a sharp, investigative mind that seeks to understand what lies beneath the surface. 8th house Mercury individuals are drawn to subjects like psychology, metaphysics, and finance, where deep analysis and strategic thinking are required. They excel in research, problem solving, and uncovering hidden information. There is often an affinity for discussing taboo or sensitive topics, but they may struggle with keeping secrets or being overly suspicious in their thinking. When Mercury is in the 9th house, there is a strong inclination toward learning, exploration, and sharing knowledge. This placement favors philosophical thinking, travel, and an interest in cultures and belief systems beyond one's own. 9th house Mercury individuals often have a broad perspective, seeking truth and wisdom through study and experience. They are drawn to teaching, publishing, and engaging in discussions that expand the mind. However, this wide-ranging curiosity can sometimes result in overlooking details or becoming dogmatic about their beliefs. Mercury in the 10th house focuses on career, public communication, and authority. This placement often indicates a mind geared toward strategic thinking, planning, and achieving professional recognition. 10th house Mercury individuals are skilled at articulating their ideas in a clear, authoritative manner, making them excellent at presentations, leadership roles, and public speaking. They are often seen as knowledgeable and competent, but there can be a tendency to become overly concerned with reputation or the opinions of others. The 11th house Mercury is oriented toward social causes, group dynamics, and innovative thinking. This placement brings a strong desire to communicate within communities, engage in intellectual collaboration, and contribute to collective goals. 11th house Mercury individuals often have a futuristic, inventive mindset and are drawn to topics like technology, social reform, and networking. They are natural communicators in group settings, though they may sometimes struggle with detachment or the need to conform to group ideals at the expense of personal expression. Mercury in the 12th house is introspective, intuitive, and often operates in the subconscious realm. This placement brings a deep, reflective mind that excels at understanding the unseen, whether through spirituality, dreams, or the arts. 12th house Mercury individuals often communicate best in subtle, indirect ways and may have a strong affinity for poetry, music, or other creative expressions that bypass logical constraints. There's a talent for listening and understanding hidden or unspoken things, but they may struggle with clear self-expression or a tendency to retreat into their own thoughts. Mercury's aspects the dynamics of the mind and communication. The aspects that Mercury forms with other planets in the natal chart reveal the interactions between one's mental processes, communication style, and broader personality dynamics. These aspects highlight how the mind works in harmony or conflict with other facets of the self, influencing everything from learning and decision-making to social interactions and self-expression.
When Mercury forms a conjunction with another planet, the energies of both merge, creating a powerful synergy that significantly influences thought and communication. A Mercury-Sun conjunction often enhances self-expression, making an individual articulate, mentally agile, and eager to communicate their ideas. However, this aspect can sometimes blur the distinction between ego and intellect, leading to over-identification with one's opinions. A Mercury-Moon conjunction blends rational thought with emotional intuition, creating a mind that is deeply connected to feelings and memories. This aspect often enhances empathy, making individuals sensitive communicators who are attuned to the emotional nuances of conversations. However, it can also create a challenge in separating logic from emotion, leading to subjective thinking or difficulty in making objective decisions. The Mercury-Venus conjunction brings harmony, charm, and artistic expression to communication. This aspect often produces a diplomatic, pleasant way of speaking and a talent for expressing ideas with grace and beauty. Individuals with this aspect may excel in writing, speaking, or any form of communication that involves aesthetics. However, the desire to please can sometimes lead to avoiding difficult conversations or sugarcoating the truth. A Mercury-Mars conjunction infuses communication with energy, assertiveness, and a quick, decisive mind. This aspect often creates a sharp wit, direct speech, and a strong drive to express one's thoughts clearly and forcefully. It favors debate, persuasive speaking, and the ability to think on one's feet. However, it can also lead to impatience, argumentative tendencies, or speaking without considering the impact of words. The Mercury-Jupiter conjunction expands the mind, encouraging broad thinking, optimism, and a love of learning. This aspect often brings a philosophical, open-minded approach to communication, with a focus on big ideas, teaching, and sharing knowledge. Individuals with this aspect are often seen as wise, articulate, and engaging speakers, though they may struggle with overestimating their knowledge or coming across as overly verbose. Mercury-Saturn conjunctions bring a serious, disciplined, and methodical approach to communication. This aspect enhances critical thinking, organization, and the ability to focus on complex tasks. It often produces a cautious, reserved way of speaking, with a strong focus on accuracy and responsibility in communication. However, the challenge can be a tendency toward pessimism, self-doubt, or difficulty in expressing oneself freely. A Mercury-Uranus conjunction electrifies the mind, bringing originality, inventiveness, and an unconventional approach to communication. This aspect favors quick, intuitive thinking and a love of exploring new ideas, often leading to insights that are ahead of their time. Individuals with this aspect are often seen as brilliant, innovative, and a bit unpredictable in their thoughts. However, they may also struggle with restlessness, inconsistency, or difficulty in staying grounded. The Mercury-Neptune conjunction infuses communication with imagination, sensitivity, and a touch of the mystical. This aspect often creates a poetic, dreamy way of expressing oneself, with a strong intuitive grasp of subtle or abstract concepts. Individuals with this aspect excel in creative writing, art, and any form of communication that allows for fantasy or emotional resonance. However, there can be challenges with clarity, deception, or a tendency to avoid harsh realities. A Mercury-Pluto conjunction brings depth, intensity, and a probing mind to communication. This aspect often produces a powerful, persuasive speaking style and a talent for uncovering hidden truths. It favors research, psychology, and any field that requires deep analysis or transformative thinking. However, the intensity of this aspect can sometimes lead to obsessive thoughts, manipulation, or a tendency to dominate conversations. Mercury aspects to the North Node emphasize the karmic lessons and growth opportunities related to communication, learning, and intellectual pursuits. These aspects often highlight areas where one's mental approach needs development or where communication plays a significant role in fulfilling one's life path. Retrograde Mercury rethinking and revisiting. Mercury retrograde is one of the most well-known astrological phenomena, occurring approximately 3 times a year when Mercury appears to move backward in the sky. During this period, Mercury's usual forward momentum shifts inward, encouraging reflection, review, and reconsideration of past actions, decisions, and communications. This is a time when miscommunications, delays, and misunderstandings are more likely as the usual flow of information is disrupted. In the natal chart, a retrograde Mercury often indicates a more introspective, reflective way of thinking. Individuals with Mercury retrograde may process information differently, sometimes needing more time to internalize or review concepts before expressing them. There can be a tendency to question assumptions, revisit old ideas, or feel misunderstood in communication. However, this inward focus can also bring unique insights, a deeper understanding of the self, and a talent for thinking outside conventional norms. Mercury retrograde periods are often seen as times to slow down, revisit unfinished business, and rethink one's approach to communication and decision-making. It's a time to edit, revise, and correct past mistakes, rather than pushing forward with new initiatives. While these periods can be challenging, they also offer valuable opportunities for growth, reflection, and refinement of one's mental and communicative skills. Mercury and synastry in relationships, the role of communication. In relationship astrology, Mercury plays a crucial role in determining compatibility in communication and intellectual connection. When Mercury aspects are prominent in synastry, the comparison of 2 natal charts, they highlight how individuals interact on a mental level, how easily they understand each other, and how well they can discuss and resolve differences. Positive Mercury aspects in synastry, such as trines and sextiles, often indicate a natural flow of communication, shared interests, and the ability to engage in stimulating conversations. These aspects promote understanding, intellectual compatibility, and the ease of expressing thoughts and feelings. They often enhance the relationship by fostering a sense of mental connection and mutual respect. Challenging Mercury aspects, such as squares and oppositions, can create misunderstandings, differing communication styles, or conflicting viewpoints. These aspects may require more effort to bridge communication gaps or resolve disagreements, but they can also offer opportunities for growth by encouraging partners to improve their listening skills and learn from each other's perspectives. Mercury's placement in the composite chart, which represents the relationship as a whole, shows how communication functions within the partnership. A well-placed Mercury can facilitate open dialogue, problem-solving, and intellectual engagement, while a challenged Mercury may indicate areas where communication needs work, such as misalignment in goals, difficulty in expressing emotions, or differing mental approaches.